The declaration that India is a diverse society and its resources must be distributed in accord on caste lines or on lines of people's poverty or some other such distinguishing factor, which basically means take the money from those who create wealth and distribute it to those who do not have wealth. Now, how do you do that consistent with the rule of law? So you don't do it. How are you going to do it? You are fighting against the nation. You are fighting against the notion of statehood. If our state is a democratic, sovereign republic based on the rule of law, you can't have this kind of narrative going on. The second narrative, caste census. The third narrative, you carry a book of constitutional law in your hand and talk of increasing reservations when the Supreme Court's definition of fairness under Article 14 and 15 on balance has been reservations must be contained within 15%. Now what you're saying is, I don't care what the constitutional authority who has the last word on constitutional interpretation says.
Yes.
I say this is not fair. And if the Supreme Court says this is not fair, I don't care. I am protecting the Constitution as I read it, not as the Supreme Court interprets it, which means you are above the law, you are above the institutions. So this has been going on for a while. And it's consistent behavior. When somebody says India is not a nation, it's a union of states, I would say it betrays ignorance of basic principles of political constitutionalism. So you have somebody who's obviously either he's being advised or he's being tutored or whatever. Now that's a political discussion which you will have the moment I leave space. But as a citizen of India and as a student of constitutional law, we have this serious threat and we have this sitting in our parliament. But I think our constitution is so robust and our institutions by now have become so robust. His fighting the Indian state is going to be a battle which he will sooner than later regret.
Ladies and gentlemen, with us tonight live is Harish Salve, and the subject of discussion tonight is the alarming comment of Rahul Gandhi, where he has declared a war against the nation by saying that he is out to fight the Indian state. In other words, he's saying the Congress party should be fighting the Indian state. This is not a critique of the government. Now, Mr. Salve, my second and last question to you is this, that their defense is that, look here, we are not bothered about whether this aligns with separatist narratives. We believe that the Indian state is oppressive. And it's oppressive, so it's illegitimate. Right? It's illegitimate in our eyes, our beliefs, and hence we reject it, and hence we are going to fight it. Your response to that defense they are putting out tonight?
Yes. So I heard just now, a moment ago, I hadn't heard it before, the clip which you played.
Yes.
And his point is that the BJP has captured, it's a strong word to use, but let's go with his word, captured all institutions. How have they done it? They have not done it by a constitutional coup. They have not done it by a coup against the Constitution. They fought the elections. They won fair and square in 2014. They won in 2019. And they're back in power in 2014. His attempts at trying to get into power have failed. If BJP has control over the institutions, as he suggests, I'm putting to one side the validity of this assertion. Yes. But if it does, it has this control because it is the elected government in office. Now, if his attempts to get elected are failing, he says, I will have to fight the system from outside by dismantling a system by which BJP is getting elected, which means you do not believe in electoral democracy. Now, whether you bring in the Bangladesh model or you sit with people who are willing, or you invite others to interfere and say, you must do something, please help me, because elections I have not been able to win. You have to get these chaps out of office and make space so that somebody else can come in. That means you're basically saying, I don't like the Indian voter, I don't believe the Indian voter. I know the interest of the Indian voter better than the Indian voter knows himself. And therefore I am at war with the Indian voter. He's voting the wrong people in, so I'm going to fight the state itself. So it's the right thing he has said. This is what he's been pursuing. And I think he has only put it in one sentence. He has been saying it, and his party has been standing for this for a while.